Sikunati, so Oracle won its case. Eskom hopes to appeal, but can Oracle withdraw its services in the meantime?
Well, that's what Oracle has said, but Oracle has got a binding contract ending on the 31st of March 2022. So Eskom is within its rights to pursue its rights under that contract, and indeed to continue to ask the courts to compel Oracle to continue providing the services that they have been contracted for a period of 5 years under this contract.
Just explain to us how pivotal Oracle is to Eskom's running. We know it provides technical services. We know it's a massive international software company. But what does it actually do for Eskom?
On the generation side, it provides a system to help Eskom manage its planned maintenance of the power stations. And then on the distribution side, amongst others, the payment system and the billing and account system run on Oracle's software, and some electricity distribution mechanism, particularly on prepaid to prepaid customers, run on Oracle's software. I must state here that these are technical services support that we receive from Oracle, which come in addition to Eskom's own internal teams. So Oracle works to actually complement what we have internally, and that is what we mean. We have put in contingency measures to reduce the risk should Oracle indeed live up to their word.
So are you in the clear until a decision is made on Eskom's leave to appeal? There's no chance, am I right, that Oracle will be able to pull out its services in the meantime?
That question is best answered by Oracle itself, because it has said, in defiance of an existing and binding contract, that it will pull out. So whether or not they will live up and do as they have threatened is a question best answered by them. As for Eskom, we have a binding contract in which Oracle must supply these technical support services for at least until the end of March 2022, and we have Eskom will be pursuing its rights under the contract and will do everything that it can to retain these services.
If it pulled out, would it cause a blackout?
No, it won't cause a blackout. As I have said, Oracle's is one of thousands of contracts that are running currently at Eskom, working all of those together to help produce and supply and distribute electricity to all of South Africa. There definitely may be hiccups in the areas that I have mentioned, but there will not be a blackout as a result of Oracle pulling its technical support services. We do have the software that Eskom will be using, that continues to use even when Oracle does pull out. What we will not be able to rely on are Oracle's experts coming should there be a breakdown somewhere or some mishap, and we have primed our teams, the internal team that Oracle helps in support or works in support of. And as we have said also, Eskom has now instituted an urgent procurement process to be able to continue to provide this service in the event that Oracle does pull out.
At the heart of it, it seems it's a dispute over money. Originally, according to the media release, Oracle said that Eskom owed it 7 billion rand, which is $500,000. That was then negotiated down to 400 million rand, which is where Oracle is sticking. Eskom saying, actually, we only owe you 166 million. I think most South Africans reading that are going, how on earth did they come up with 7 billion and then get negotiated down to 400 million? The obvious question is there some dodgy dealing here? Is there some suspicion of untoward behavior? How on earth did Eskom manage to negotiate it down from such a colossal amount in the first place?
The term negotiate is not the most accurate under the circumstances. Eskom disputed the claim of 7 billion rand, 7.3 billion rand by Oracle. It disputed this amount, and the amount dropped to 800 million rand at some point. And the last amount now, the latest amount that Oracle is claiming is 380 million rands, which Eskom still disputes. Eskom has indeed agreed and acknowledges that it does owe 166 million rands, which it will pay upon a receipt of an invoice from Oracle. For the rest, for the balance, Eskom has made a proposal which was rejected by Oracle to say, we are in dispute about these 400 million rands. Let us together hire a third party to independently verify and process this claim. And once that third party agrees at a number, we will then take this as make it an agreement of the court, upon which then Eskom can have a legal basis to pay.
Sure.
It will need to be substantiated.
I hear you, and that Eskom has been disputing the amount. But how did they come up with 7.3 billion? I mean, is this part of their contract? How did they have such a vast amount, which when it was disputed by Eskom, came substantially down? How does that happen?
Let me repeat this. That question can best be answered by Oracle themselves. What they are saying is that Eskom has overused the services that they are providing, and then they arrived at that figure. That question, I repeat, can best be answered.
All right, so then let me ask you this question. Does Eskom suspect any corrupt activities in this process?
What Eskom does have at this point is a dispute with Oracle, and that dispute we have placed before the courts, and there are two court cases going at this particular point, and everything will be ventilated in that court process.
So that's neither a yes nor a no, am I right?
I am not answering the question whether Eskom does suspect corruption or not.
Why not?
Because we have a dispute about a contract. And that dispute Eskom has taken to court to get the court to compel Oracle to deliver on its obligation. Should there be any evidence of corruption, Eskom will indeed do the right thing, and that is to lay criminal charges with the police, and then deal and deliver on its obligations to the people of South Africa, to make sure that should there be any prima facie evidence of corruption, we will remove such threat to the people of South Africa. At this point, I do not have any evidence to support the accusation whether there is corruption or not.
All right, thank you very much. Eskom spokesperson Sikunati Manchansha talking to us about the legal dispute with Oracle, and they're accusing Eskom of overusing their services, which is why the bill initially went up to over 7 billion rand.